Hello and welcome back to our journey through the Bible. Today we're diving into 2 Chronicles, chapters 21 and 22, to look at the reigns of Joram and his son Uzziah. It's a story that really highlights how the choices we make can have consequences that ripple through generations. So let's start with Joram. He's the son of the good King Jehoshaphat. You'd think he would have learned from his father's righteous example, right? Well, not exactly. The very first thing Joram does after becoming king is consolidate his power in the most brutal way imaginable. He kills all of his brothers. It's a shocking start, and it sets the tone for his entire reign. Why would he do this? The scripture tells us he married a daughter of Ahab, the wicked king of Israel. This connection pulled him away from the path of his ancestors, David and Jehoshaphat, and led him down a dark road. He started to build high places for idol worship in the hills of Judah, leading the people of Jerusalem and Judah astray. He essentially dismantled all the good work his father had done. It's a powerful reminder of how influential our relationships can be, for better or for worse. Because of his wickedness, God sent a letter of warning to Joram through the prophet Elijah. This is actually the only time Elijah is mentioned in the book of Chronicles, which makes this message even more significant. The letter spelled out the consequences of his actions. His family would suffer, and he himself would be struck with a terrible, incurable intestinal disease. And that's exactly what happened. The Philistines and the Arabs attacked, plundering the king's palace and carrying off his wives and all his sons, except for the youngest Jehoash, who is also known as Ahaziah. After all this, Joram was struck with that dreadful disease. He suffered for 2 years and died in excruciating pain. What's even sadder is that after he died, no one regretted his passing. Imagine that. He had so thoroughly alienated himself from his people that his death brought no sorrow. It's a tragic end to a life that started with so much potential. Now let's move on to chapter 22. After Joram's death, his youngest son Uzziah becomes king. He was only 22 years old, and unfortunately, he followed in his father's footsteps. His mother, Athaliah, the daughter of Ahab, was his chief advisor, and as you can guess, her advice wasn't great. She encouraged him to do evil. So Uzziah allied himself with his uncle Joram, the king of Israel, who was also a son of Ahab, to go to war against Hazael, king of Aram. During this battle, Joram was wounded and went back to Jezreel to recover. Uzziah went to visit him, and this visit would be his last. God had a plan in motion. He had anointed a man named Jehu to destroy the house of Ahab. While Uzziah was visiting Joram in Jezreel, Jehu arrived. Jehu executed Joram, and then he found and executed Ahaziah and his relatives who were with him. Uzziah's reign lasted only 1 year. It was short and ended just as disastrously as his father's. When Ahaziah's mother, Athaliah, heard that her son was dead, she did something truly horrific. She decided to seize the throne for herself by trying to wipe out the entire royal family of Judah. She almost succeeded. But Ahaziah's sister, Jehosheba, who was married to the high priest Jehoiada, managed to rescue one of Ahaziah's infant sons, Joash. She hid him and his nurse in the temple of the Lord for 6 years while Athaliah ruled over the land. So, what can we take away from these 2 chapters? We see a clear and direct link between disobedience and destruction. Joram and Uzziah turned away from God, embraced evil counsel, and their reigns ended in disaster, not just for them, but for their entire nation. It's a sobering lesson on the importance of leadership, the company we keep, and most importantly, our faithfulness to God. Yet even in this dark period, there's a glimmer of hope. The line of David wasn't completely extinguished. A tiny baby Joash was saved, hidden away in the house of God, a symbol that God's promises will endure, even when everything seems lost. Thanks for joining me today. I hope this look into 2 Chronicles has given you some food for thought. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you won't miss our next video as we continue our journey. See you next time.